Hi,
My name's J.C. McCauley.
I'm Naisha McCauley, and you're watching AccessTV.org.
Welcome back, Miss Cleo's Storytelling Corner. My name is Cleo Duke Wright, and I own Cull Books at 677 Blue Hills Avenue in Hartford, Connecticut. And I say that to welcome you all to Cull Books. It's an open door. Let's come up and have some fun and sit down and let's discuss some books. Today, I promised you last week that I didn't get to read these stories last week, so I am going to read them this week because I just love this book. It's a children's book written by Dwight Devane Hooker. We had him as a guest, I think about a month ago or so, and it's illustrated by Eric Heiss, and it's just wonderful pictures and wonderful little stories that sort of teach little lessons. So I'm going to read you Kids Can Read Too by Dwight Devane Hooker, one of our local authors. And this is a beautiful picture. The cover is beautiful. The colors are beautiful. I just love it. And he dedicates it to all the children around the world who love to read. And the sun is shining. I love the sun. I love the sun coming in the morning, and I open up the shades. Everybody in my house doesn't like the sun. They want to close the shades, but not me. I want the sun to come in every window. Now, first, it's sort of a story. It's called My Sock. Has anybody seen my favorite sock? My grandma gave it to me. I am one sock short of a pair. The one with dancing flowers around the rim at the top is missing. I cannot blame my cat. The cat plays with his ball of yarn all the time. I can't blame my dog because he chases after the cat with the yarn all the time. Has anybody seen my sock? I had better take another look at my dog. You know that dog is kind of sneaky and cool. I did find my pretty pink sneakers by my dog's blue and green bed, but the cat sleeps in that bed too. That sock is not in my jacket. I turned my pockets inside out, but a different sock fell out. I looked under my bed, no sock under my pillow, no sock anywhere. I ran to Grandma, blaming the cat, then blaming the dog. To my surprise, Grandma was sewing a new flower on my favorite sock around the rim, dancing. It's Grandma. Grandma took that sock just to surprise her. And you saw, let me just show you this. And there in the corner, you see Grandma with her knitting needles just knitting away at that sock. You see Grandma, she just knitting away at the sock, and her back is turned, and the little girl kind of says, "Hey, Grandma, what's happening here?" And Grandma had a surprise for her. The next one, a leaf on a tree. Calmly waving in the breeze, a little leaf speaks to his little leaf friends. They were just blowing gently and singing in the trees. The little leaf speaks out loudly. When we grow up with all the other leaves in all the other trees, we won't be little leaves anymore. We'll be a forest. Wow, a forest with all the big trees. Come hear us sing. Do you hear trees sing sometimes? I do. I love to look at trees. And the trees waving in a way, and you can hear that rustling sound. Have you ever just stopped to listen and look up at the trees and listen to the sound that the trees make and the moving that the trees make back and forth and the rustling little sound, especially on nice days when there's just a little breeze. Of course, when there is a storm coming, the trees, their breezes, they just go around and they just really fast, like they're saying, a storm is coming. Have you ever seen trees like that? They're really going in the wind and they're shaking their hands and their branches are going really fast. I always thought that was because they were saying to us, a storm is coming, a storm is coming. Take cover, a storm is coming. And in some trees, they just, the way they move is just beautiful. So that's just Miss Cleo. I tell my granddaughter I say, do you talk to the trees? Did you talk to the trees today? And she says, yes, Grandma, I talked to the trees. I said, good morning, trees. I said, good, say good morning to the trees. I said, because they give us air, you say good morning to the trees. So she does that. Then I am people. Sometimes we have to remind ourselves that we are people. Sometimes we feel bad and we may feel a little sad and somebody may have said something to us that we didn't like very much. And maybe all the people are playing with those people over there and not playing with us, and we're sitting there all by ourselves. And we want to go over there and play too, and maybe they don't want to play with me. But we always have to remember, I am people. Standing all alone, I am a person all by myself. When I stand with family and friends, I am people. A group of people living, praying, working, and playing together. People. We all are people doing our different things. And this is a wonderful picture that he has here. There's someone throwing a baseball and there's two people just hugging because they're friends. And there's someone over to the side praying, and someone just, I think he's picking or he's planting. He has kind of a leaf in his hand. Don't know quite what he's doing. I am people. Don't ever forget that. And say it with pride. Oh, raindrops. Oh, I love raindrops. But before we read raindrops, we're going to go to commercial. And then we'll come back with raindrops in just a minute. We'll be right back.
Hi, my name is Tyrick Marquez. I am a member of Hartford Community's That Care Youth Leadership. For the past 27 weeks, we have been examining the intersection between education, poverty, violence, and trauma in Hartford. I have learned a great deal based on research we have done, but I would like to tell a personal story. On August 27th, 2008, I attended a parade in the north end of Hartford when bullets began to fly and one person was killed. 6 people were injured, including myself. I was 7 years old and I was shot in my head, leaving me with partial paralysis, something I still live with every day. I struggle, but I overcome, and I am no different from any other teenage boy. This is why I do things in my community, such as awareness events with my mom and the Victims Against Violence group. I also do things with HCTC because we want to see change. Thank you for taking the time to hear my story.
Welcome back to Miss Cleo's Storytelling Corner. And we're going to read right now Raindrops. We've had a lot of rain lately. We've had a lot of raindrops lately, haven't we? Yeah, raindrops they could be wonderful, and they could do some damage, and they could keep us in the house, because it's just too wet to go outside. Raindrops could be something else. So let's read Raindrops. One little raindrop jumped out of the ocean. Hi, I am just a little raindrop. I fell from a cloud in the sky with millions of other raindrops just like me. We became puddles, ponds, lakes, rivers, and waterfalls too. So when you are thirsty, have a drink of me, water. When all the water comes together in little drops, we become an ocean. Now what lives in the ocean? The little raindrops. Wow. What does live in the ocean? Well, there's fish, all kinds of fish and different animals that live in the ocean, and there's trees down in the ocean, and there's grass down in the ocean, just like it is on the earth, on land. And then what happens? The boats travel on the ocean. The ocean does a lot of things. That little raindrop keeps us afloat. Yes, it does. Does a lot of wonderful things for people. Well, now we're to exercise. Do you go out and exercise? Or do you just play on your computers and watch TV most of the time? I hope that you go out and exercise a lot, because exercise is very good for you. And I think this is going to tell you that. Exercise, that's the name of this reading. On a summer day in April, all the toys got together and started to talk. Where are all the children that once played with us? They need exercise on a sunny day before their muscles melt away. The toys peeped in the window. The children are watching the TV again. The soccer ball said, I have an idea. I'll bounce up and ring the bell. When their parents answer the door, Red Wagon, what should I say? I might just bounce away. Red Wagon replied, Don't ask me. I'm already ahead of you. Zoom, zoom, zoom. The little blue tricycle suggested, Let all the toys together say, Please, children, come out to play and exercise before your little muscles melt away. The children's parents agreed. The toys, puppy, kitten, and children played in the backyard. They ran, jumped, skipped, and crawled, laughing the whole time. No one missed the TV. Exercise was better for their muscles and much more fun. Zoom, zoom, bounce, 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 run, run, run. Oh, what a wonderful time we're having. Exercising in the backyard. feather, the feather. Now there's a woman sitting on a bench at the bus stop. And she has a beautiful hat on. And there's some birds flying around in the air. The feather. The little birdie sat beside a little elderly lady on a bus stop bench. I see you lovingly spreading breadcrumbs on the ground for the neighborhood birdies every morning. But today you look sad, he said. Yes, little birdie, replied the elderly lady. Today, the wind blew the feather from the top of my favorite hat. Oh no, the little birdie chirped, scratching his head with the tip of his wing. He surprised Miss Mary, the little elderly lady, when he announced, I don't mind sharing a feather from my wing with you. Then the little birdie flew to the top of Miss Mary's hat and gently placed a new feather in the perfect spot. Beautiful, tweeted the little birdie. The elderly lady was so grateful. Then they looked at each other and smiled. Thank you, Miss Mary said. We shared things together. Love, bread, and a beautiful new feather. Wow, wasn't that nice of the little birdie to share that feather? Sometimes when we meet people and they need something and they're sad and we have what they need, we share it with them to make them smile. And that's all we want. We want them to smile and be happy, and we can talk to each other. And that's what they did. What did they share? What did they share? Well, they shared love, bread, and a beautiful new feather. That was wonderful. And I see that beautiful feather in her hat. And she is so happy sitting there at the bus stop. She shared what she had. She fed the little birdies every morning with her breadcrumbs. And the little birdie shared with her. That's how it should be. Yes, that's how it should be. Oh, look at this one. All these steps. Oh my goodness. Will I ever get up those steps? How am I going to get up all of those steps? Let's see. Oh, is that how I get up those steps? One step at a time. I guess that's right. No skipping, no hopping. One step at a time. I step into the school bus. I step into my house. I take the stairs to my bedroom. No skipping, no hopping. One step at a time. Grandma and Grandpa have a staircase in their house. I look up, a long way up. No skipping, no hopping. One step at a time. I climb to the top of the stairs, going one step at a time. I am going to wave a flag when I reach the top. Whoopee! I made it! One step at a time. Wow. So when you see a big staircase and you say, wow, just say to yourself, well, I'll get there. One step at a time. That's all it takes. One step at a time. Oh, now we have to get serious here. Yep. This is serious. 911. That is a very serious number. That's not a number to play with. Nope, nope, nope. That's a number to help someone. So this says, you know your ABCs. You know your 1, 2, 3s. Now get to know 911 to save someone. My little people, when you're home and someone is hurt or falls and can't get up, get the cell phone to call 911. It will save someone. It's okay to give them your name and address. Help is on the way. Remember, 911 is not a game. It's not for fun. It's to save someone. You know your ABCs. You know your 1, 2, 3s. Now, get to know 911. And if you were here with me, I would have you practice on this cell phone in the book. And we could practice 911 and the green circle, the green button, push, call. 911, call. And one day you may help someone and save someone. Well, we have this story. Now this is a cat and someone reading a book on a chair and a forest and birds. Oh, I wonder what Mr. Hooker wanted us to know from this page. It says, that cat, that fat cat, a cat tail. Wow, a cat tail. Okay, the cat and I were stretched out asleep on the den couch at 300 Magnolia Place. Without warning, I felt a furry paw on my face. Get up, wake up. The big boss is gone. I'm Scooter, the fat tan cat, my man. Start cleaning up your mess. Your glass is empty and overturned on the rug. Your shoes have a smelly odor, and you should wash your face in case you forgot. That fat tan cat proclaimed boldly, my man, you're just a guest at 300 Magnolia Place, so I assume your master appointed you big boss while he is away. Then that fat tan cat's green eyes sparkled, said, my man, while waving his paw all up in my face. That fat tan cat balled up his left paw and placed his right paw on my lip. Then he crawled in a cattish way. Listen up, my man. Don't be quick at your lip. Move and be quick on your feet. Put those shoes with the terrible smell on the back porch. I thought to myself, I should leave the door open, but that fat tan cat had me all figured out. He purred cunningly. Oh no, don't leave the door open because I'm not going anywhere, my man. As I was about to compliment his cunning, I stepped on something. What do you think it was? It was a book. Puss in Boots. My favorite. It was Scooter's favorite too. So I agreed to read it aloud so both of us could enjoy it together. When I started reading, Scooter gave me a cat wink and curled around my feet before long, that fat cat was fast asleep. Perfect. Now we have another commercial before we get to the... Oh, we are at the end. My goodness. So we have to think of something to do by the time we get back. So we're going to pause right now for a commercial, and I will be right back.
Hi, my name is Tyreek Marquez. I am a member of Hartford Communities That Care Youth Leadership. For the past 27 weeks, we have been examining the intersection between education, poverty, violence, and trauma in Hartford. I have learned a great deal based on research we have done, but I would like to tell a personal story. On August 27th, 2008, I attended a parade in the north end of Hartford when bullets began to fly and one person was killed. 6 people were injured, including myself. I was 7 years old and I was shot in my head, leaving me with partial paralysis, something I still live with every day. I struggle, but I overcome, and I am no different from any other teenage boy. This is why I do things in my community, such as awareness events with my mom and the Victims Against Violence group. I also do things with HCTC because we want to see change. Thank you for taking the time to hear my story.
Welcome back to Miss Cleo's Storytelling Corner. I was having so much fun reading their book that it came to the end before I even knew it. And so that is Kids Can Read Too. And if you want a copy of that, just give me a call at Cull Books at 860-690-1711 or text me that you're interested, and believe me, I'll make sure you get one of those books. And Mr. Hookers is also going to the different schools and places to promote his book. So please, if you want one, please give me a call. Okay. Now I'm going to read you one of my favorite stories because it's just... My nephew is a very big man and a very tall man and a very gentle man. So I always think of him as Ferdinand because he's such a beautiful person. I love him to death. And I'm going to read the story of Ferdinand. Once upon a time in Spain, there was a little bull and his name was Ferdinand. All the other little bulls he lived with would run and jump and butt their heads together, but not Ferdinand. He liked to sit just quietly and smell the flowers. He had a favorite spot out in the pasture under a cork tree. It was his favorite tree, and he would sit in its shade all day and smell the flowers. Sometimes his mother, who was a cow, would worry about him. She was afraid he would be lonesome all by himself. "Why don't you run and play with the other little bulls and skip and bump heads?" she would say. But Ferdinand would shake his head. "I like it better here, where I can sit just quietly and smell the flowers." His mother saw that he was not lonesome, and because she was an understanding mother, even though she was a cow, she let him just sit there and be happy. As the years went by, Ferdinand grew and grew until he was very big and strong. All the other bulls who had grown up with him in the same pasture would fight each other all day. They would butt each other and stick each other with their horns. What they wanted most of all was to be picked to fight at the bullfight in Madrid. But not Ferdinand. He still liked to sit just quietly under the cork tree and smell the flowers. One day, 5 men came in very funny hats to pick the biggest, fastest, roughest bull to fight in the bullfight in Madrid. All the other bulls ran, snorting and butting and leaping and jumping, so the men would think that they were very, very strong and fierce and pick them. Ferdinand knew that they wouldn't pick him, and he didn't care. So he went out to his favorite cork tree to sit down. He didn't look where he was sitting, and instead of sitting on the nice cool grass in the shade, he sat on, a bumblebee. Well, if you were a bumblebee and a bull sat on you, what would you do? You would sting him. And that is just what this bee did to Ferdinand. Wow! Did it hurt? Ferdinand jumped up with a snort. He ran around, puffing and snorting, butting and pawing the ground as if he were crazy. The 5 men saw him, and they all shouted with joy. Here was the largest and the fiercest bull of all, just the one for the bullfight in Madrid. So they took him away for the bullfight day in a cart. What a day it was. Flags were flying, bands were playing, and all the lovely ladies had flowers in their hair. They had a parade into the bull ring. First came the banderilleros with long, sharp pins with ribbons on them to stick in the bull and make him mad. Next came the picadors, who rode skinny horses, and they had long spears to stick in the bull and make him madder. Then came the matador, the proudest of all. He thought he was very handsome and bowed to the ladies. He had a red cap and a sword and was supposed to stick the bull last of all. Then came the bull, and you know what that was, don't you? Ferdinand. They called him Ferdinand the Fierce, and all the banderilleros were afraid of him, and the picadors were afraid of him, and the matador was scared stiff. Ferdinand came to the middle of the ring, and everybody shouted and clapped because they thought he was going to fight fiercely and butt and snort and stick his horns around. But not Ferdinand. When he got to the middle of the ring, he saw the flowers in all the lovely ladies' hair, and he just sat down quietly and smelled. He wouldn't fight and be fierce no matter what they did. he just sat and smelled. And the banderilleros were mad, and the picadors were madder, and the matador was so mad he cried because he couldn't show off with his cape and sword. So they had to take Ferdinand home, and for all I know, he's sitting there still under his favorite cork tree, smelling the flowers just quietly. He is very happy. Oh, and that is the story of Ferdinand. That completes our stories today, and I hope that you enjoyed them because I enjoyed reading them. Now, it's time to say goodbye until next week, and I'll be back with something. I don't know quite what yet, but I hope I'll have it together for you. So, remember, read a little, write a little, dream big. And I'll see you next week.